Welcome to Sourced and Delivered, the TalentNet podcast, where we cut through the noise and explore real-world strategies in direct sourcing and total talent attraction. Real results, no fluff. In today's episode, inside the 400% surge, how a financial leader rebuilt contingent hiring. We dive into how a Fortune 500 financial institution modernized its approach to contingent hiring. Rising agency costs, lack of visibility, and inconsistent candidate experiences were holding them back. So, they partnered with TalentNet to launch a direct sourcing pilot, one focused on control, compliance, and connection. We'll walk through how they structured their program, the platform features that drove engagement, and the outcomes that followed. A 400% increase in hires, 21% average cost savings, 97% spike in hiring manager satisfaction, and a talent community that grew over 460%. This is more than a case study. It's a playbook for how enterprise organizations can scale smarter, faster, and more strategically. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into, well, a really fascinating real-world example. It's about how a major financial institution dealt with a pretty big challenge: managing their contingent workforce.
That's right. We've got some great insights here pulled from a case study that details how this Fortune 500 company really transformed things using direct sourcing, specifically with the TalentNet platform.
Yeah, and our mission for this deep dive is really to unpack that whole journey. What problems were they actually facing? What strategy did they choose?
And crucially, what were the results? Because they're quite impressive. It's all about modernizing how they find and, importantly, engage that non-permanent talent pool.
Okay, let's dive in then. Set the scene for us. We're talking a huge financial player, right?
Oh, massive. Think about this. Serves 1 in 3 U.S. households, over 10% of small businesses. Just enormous scale. And that means they rely heavily on their workforce.
Including a big chunk of contingent workers, I imagine. Contractors, project folks.
Exactly. A significant part of their workforce is contingent. And historically, managing that kind of workforce, especially at scale, brings its own set of, well, headaches.
Okay, so what were those specific headaches? What pain points were they actually dealing with before they made this shift?
Well, the case study points to a few key things. First off, cost. The costs associated with traditional third-party staffing agencies were just steadily rising.
Okay, the agency fees were getting out of hand. Makes sense at that volume. What else?
Another big one was visibility, or rather the lack of it. They didn't really have a clear view of the talent pools beyond those agencies.
So they couldn't easily see who might be interested or track engagement.
Pretty much. They couldn't track past applicants effectively, couldn't gauge interest levels within different talent segments. It made proactive sourcing really difficult.
Feels like trying to recruit with one hand tied behind your back, and I bet that impacted the candidate experience too, especially for those high-volume roles.
You hit it right there. The source highlights inconsistent candidate experiences as a major problem. And sort of underlying all this was this urgent need just to modernize their whole approach.
Modernize and consolidate.
Yeah, consolidate strategies to get better control. Control over sourcing, control over how their brand looked to contingent workers, and, control over the spend.
Got it. So it wasn't just about finding people cheaper, it was about building a system, something scalable, consistent, cost-effective, and giving them more control. That's the push towards direct sourcing.
Exactly. And the case study says they chose TalentNet to build and pilot this new direct sourcing program. They were strategic about it, though.
How so?
They didn't try to boil the ocean. They started focused, initially targeting technology and operations roles.
Probably areas with high demand and maybe where those inefficiencies really hurt.
Likely, yes. And areas where finding specialized talent can be tough.
So how do you actually implement something like this? A whole new sourcing model in a giant regulated company? Yeah, especially finance. Security, compliance, those are non-negotiables. You can't just plug in some software.
Right. And the report shows they took a very structured approach. It started with something called a program readiness workshop.
Okay, what did that involve?
Think of it as getting everyone on the same page. A deep planning session, bringing together HR, procurement, IT, legal, the hiring managers, all the key players.
To align them all.
Exactly. Align them. Define what success actually looked like, the metrics, and build a roadmap. And not just for the pilot, but one designed to scale potentially globally.
Okay, so planning first, then technology. That sounds smart for that kind of environment.
Definitely. Only after that foundational work did they deploy the TalentNet platform. And the source stresses two things here. It was branded to look and feel like the company.
Seamless integration.
Right. And, crucially, it met their super high security and compliance standards. It mentions specific certifications, SOC 2, Type 2, ISO 27001, 27017.
Okay, I know those. That basically means top-tier data security and management, right? Essential for handling financial institution data.
Absolutely essential. It signals that the platform is built to protect sensitive information to the highest international standards. Builds that necessary trust.
So the platform was secure and looked the part. What specific features actually helped them make this change work?
Several key things came together on the platform. It had AI-powered job matching.
Helping them find the right people faster from their pool?
Precisely. Faster delivery of relevant candidates. It also used automated alerts and notifications.
To keep talent engaged, like letting them know about new roles automatically.
Exactly. Keeping people warm and informed. And they seriously streamlined the application process. The case study says candidates could apply in under 60 seconds.
Wow, under a minute. That's a game changer compared to some application processes. Huge for the candidate side.
Massive difference, especially for contingent workers who might be applying for multiple roles. Plus, robust tools for managing the talent pools themselves, segmenting them, nurturing relationships.
So building a real community, not just a database.
That seems to be the idea. It also had built-in communication email, SMS, with templates to keep messaging consistent and on brand. And, optionally, they could use DEI surveys to track inclusion efforts within their talent pool.
It sounds like a really integrated system designed for engagement.
And it wasn't just, here's the software, good luck. The case study mentions TalentNet provided ongoing strategic advice too, using the platform data to give insight-driven recommendations, helping them fine-tune things.
Okay, strategy, platform, support. Let's get to the payoff, the results. Because the numbers from 2023 mentioned in the source material are pretty striking.
They really are. Get this. A 400% increase in the number of hires made through direct sourcing compared to the year before.
400% in 1 year. That's transformative growth for that channel.
It's huge. A fundamental shift. And it wasn't just about volume. What about costs?
Yeah, was it saving them money?
Significant savings. The report cites an average of 21% savings across the program. 21%.
Okay, 21% savings while scaling headcount. 400%. That's impressive. But did quality or satisfaction take a hit? Sometimes speed and cost savings come at a price?
Apparently not here. Hiring manager satisfaction saw a massive jump, up 97%.
Whoa, wait. 97% increase in hiring manager satisfaction. In a big bank. That's almost unbelievable. What does that tell you? It can't just be cost.
No way. That signals major improvements elsewhere. Quality of candidates, speed. Something made their lives much easier.
And the case study backs that up.
It does, with speed metrics. Time to submit, getting a qualified candidate in front of the hiring manager dropped to just 2 days.
2 days? Down from what?
Down from what could previously take multiple weeks using the traditional agency routes.
Weeks down to 2 days. Okay, that would make a hiring manager happy. I see the 97% now. What about that talent community you mentioned?
That also exploded. 460% growth in the community size. And here's a key stat. 60% of the roles filled via direct sourcing came directly from that internal talent community.
60%. So more than half their hires were people already in their system, already engaged.
Exactly. That's the power of building that internal asset.
Yeah.
They weren't always starting cold searches outside. They had this warm pool.
A pre-vetted, interested pool.
And diverse, too. The study notes over 6,500 distinct skills, 5,600 job titles represented in that community. So real breadth and depth.
Were people actually engaged, though, or just sitting in a database?
Highly engaged, it seems. Another telling number. 86% of the community members opted in to get real-time job alerts.
86% opt-in. That's huge. People wanted to hear from them. That signals real trust in the employer brand for contingent work.
Absolutely. It shows the platform and the whole program succeeded in building that connection, that relationship.
Okay, so the numbers are great cost, speed, satisfaction, community growth. But what about the softer side? The actual experience for the candidates? Did that improve?
It seems like it tackled those earlier inconsistencies head on. Candidates got that faster, easier application process we talked about.
The under 60 seconds thing?
Yeah, and the communication they received was described as timely, personalized, and on-brand. Much better than potentially fragmented experiences dealing with various third parties.
So a smoother journey for the talent. That likely feeds back into engagement and willingness to join the community, too.
Stands to reason. And Internally, the team's managing all this.
What was the impact for them?
The source says they gained much better visibility, better tools. They could actually see and manage the contingent hiring pipeline more effectively.
Which probably helped align recruiting efforts with what the business actually needed.
Exactly. It helped shift contingent hiring from being just transactional, filling racks, to being more of a strategic function supporting business goals.
So clearly successful. This wasn't just a small side project then. Where does it go from here for them? Is this the new standard?
The case study positions the pilot as the blueprint, absolutely. They're now actively scaling the program, expanding it, rolling it out across other divisions, moving beyond just tech and ops into areas like risk, compliance, customer service, broader application.
So direct sourcing went from pilot to, what, a core part of their future workforce strategy.
That's exactly how the source frames it. A key pillar enabling them to get talent smarter, faster, more cost-effectively, especially in, today's dynamic market.
And the TalentNet partnership continues to support that scaling.
Seems so. The source emphasizes that ongoing partnership is key for sustainable growth, for maintaining that compliance edge, and keeping the candidate experience strong as they expand.
What a fantastic case study. Okay, as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, the big takeaways for me are structure matters. That readiness workshop was key.
Definitely.
Then deploying the right technology, one that meets those complex needs like security and offers features that really drive engagement.
Like the quick apply and the talent pool management.
Right. And maybe most importantly, that focus on building and actively nurturing their own talent community. That seems to be the engine behind the cost savings, the speed, the satisfaction.
And I think what it demonstrates, particularly for any large organization listening, is that updating your talent acquisition isn't just about tweaking processes. It's about building fundamentally new capabilities.
New strategic levers, really. Control, access.
Exactly. Access to talent in ways they didn't have before.
Which really brings us to a final thought, kind of stemming directly from this example. If building and engaging your own internal community of interested, qualified talent people already leaning in is this powerful, well, how might that capability fundamentally change how companies approach talent sourcing altogether? Not just for contingent workers, but maybe for their entire workforce needs in the future. Something for you, the listener, to think about in your own world.
It's a powerful question. Shifting from constantly searching outside to cultivating within. A big potential change enabled by the right strategy and tech.
Really fascinating stuff. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
That wraps this episode of Sourced and Delivered. This story isn't just about streamlining hiring. It's about building new capabilities, a structured rollout, a platform built for engagement, and a talent community that's now fueling the majority of contingent hires. From 60-second applications to AI matching, real-time alerts, and DEI-driven insights, this financial institution didn't just modernize. They created a blueprint for scale. If you're rethinking about how your organization finds, engages, and retains talent, this episode offers a powerful roadmap. You'll find links to the case study, TalentNet resources, and related tools in the show notes. Be sure to follow or subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if this episode sparked ideas, leave us a review. It helps more people discover strategies that deliver. Thanks for joining us on Sourced and Delivered, presented by TalentNet. Until next time, keep sourcing smart and delivering results.